So in our strategic planning process, we built in a couple of points where we could take time to listen to the community and hear what questions you guys have and what you've always wanted to know about abrasive media. And one of the most common questions that we've gotten is, why abrasive media? And that's an excellent question. So there are like the real like deep meaningful answers to that, and then there's also like my personal snarkiness, which always comes into play. So the personal snarkiness moment is whenever we were beginning in the early 2000s, every meeting we were in, I would hear the feedback, Audra's just a little too abrasive. I don't think I'm that abrasive. Some people disagree with me. Some people agree with me. It's fine. We don't have to resolve that issue right now. But I finally hit my limit one day. I was like, we're putting it in the name. And from the moment we put it in the name, then people would be like, oh, you're so abrasive. It's really cool. It's like, whatever. So that's part of it. Absolutely true. A good portion of abrasive media comes from snark. I don't think we ever misrepresented that, right? We do say, I think we've been pretty honest about that.
Yep.
The other aspect of that is what it means to restore an environment. I have worked in a lot of construction projects as like the least skilled person. And if you're the least skilled person on a construction project, you have two roles. You are running and getting things, and you are managing sanders. And so I have many, many hours in which I have meditated over what it is to restore, a piece of wood that might be a table, or maybe we're looking at a floor or countertop. I don't know, that could be anything. And like hours and hours of sanding and thinking about what it is. Because, definitely in my learning to hone the skill of sanding, that you can sand in the wrong direction, you can use the wrong sandpaper for a surface, and you can damage what you're trying to restore. And that's something that we try to really keep in mind, is it is abrasive, but it is abrasive from a very skilled perspective. How much pressure is needed, and what tools do we need to accomplish what we're working to accomplish? So the last metaphor that we kind of explored in our early days was this idea of a ship. And the ship has been traveling the ocean for a really long time. And the ship has had a few coats of paint, and there are barnacles on the ship, and there's a lot of water damage, and it needs to be restored because the ship has a lot more years left in it if somebody takes care of it. And so to begin restoring that ship, you remove the barnacles, you remove the old layers of paint, you restore it to a state where it can then be repainted. It can have new life given to it, and it can set out on more journeys. So that idea of the artist as a ship, as a person who has worked in your community, who has done what you do for a long time, who has faced all the realities of our culture that you have faced through your work. And when you come into dock and you're carrying a lot of extra burdens and you're affected by all of your years of journey, what does it look like to restore you? And we really believe that restoration is best done with keenly applied abrasive media. What does that look like? It looks like relationship. What does that look like? It looks like relationships. It looks like tools that are specifically designed to help foster humanity in a culture that so often wants to dehumanize us. It looks like bringing in hospitality and kindness into the arts community, and you would not think that that is a controversial issue, but we have actually encountered the most pushback on that, the idea that we don't want to function in a territorial manner, that we genuinely believe that artists of all kinds can and will and should work together. So that's a little story there. What is abrasive media? That is abrasive media to us.